So we've got some bits here, little refurb job I'm doing on a cockpit. So it's replacing bits of ply, bits of trim we've made up here, this sort of thing, completely knackered and rotten. So just made up in a hardwood version. So various bits and bobs that I've brought back from the boat a couple of hours yesterday, taking it to pieces, make up some new bits, and we're going to go back down and fit some of them now. And the remains of what we took out the boat in there. So as you can see, completely rotten, soaking wet. So let's go. So here we are then, on board, having driven down from the workshop, got all the kit, and this is the sort of work. So we've got lots of rot in here, there's a bit of deck and a hatch, and it's all bits and bobs of ply and hardwood and things like that. And as you can see, it's a combination of poor design and build initially, compiled with sort of mediocre maintenance perhaps, and just letting the job go on for too long, and here we are, all nicely rotted out and things like that. So the thing with this sort of job, and this is both sides as well, is that you just need to do what the client requires, but it's a compromise in terms of where you start and where you stop. So for instance, the hatch lid here is on a big long piano hinge screwed into there, but of course initially that in there should be plywood, because there's a plywood subdeck with these little bit of teak trim on top, and of course screwing into plywood isn't great on the best of days, and then to try and hope that's going to stay in a marine environment is nonsense really. So that all just fell out, and it's this sort of lovely mush, soaking wet. So yeah, I've oiked that out. I need to cut off the old screws that are in there, glue in a bit of hardwood, or Oroco in this case. That's about all you can do really. It's a compromise. This bit of drain here is snapped off yonks ago. I need to clean that up. All you can do is just glue the bit that snapped off back on. To do it properly, obviously you need to take that out and remake it, but then you start mission creep, as it were. The job will just keep on going, and it's not that type of work. So that hopefully is going to be relatively straightforward, that side. And as you can see, this part on this side is completely gone. They put the foot on there and went straight through basically, because this is all rotted out. So plan is here is to cut this bit of ply back to fresh, and put in a new piece, trim this off somehow, glue in a new bit of hardwood there, trim, and reinstate the drain and all that, and the same job again, replacing the bit of ply that should be underneath here with a bit of hardwood glued and screwed into the carling and depth beams that are in under here, which are sound, fortunately, and then that should be job done. Just finished with a bit of primer and some bilge paint. So yeah, and of course we've got no room to manoeuvre. This is probably 2-3 foot square here. You're on your knees all day, and also at the same token it's somebody's boat, so you've got to be quite clean and tidy as well. So this is the life and joys of being a modern day shipwright. Now if you're wondering what sort of glue that is, it's a polyurethane foaming gap filling glue, and the reason for that, why I'm using it in this application, is A, there's lots of old gaps in there you want filled, and B, relatively it's all damp, so an epoxy or an resource or any other type of glue isn't really going to have much luck in there. So it's about as good as you're going to get glue wise, polyurethane like that, and it's comes in a cartridge as well, so there's no mixing, you just squirt it, it's straight out. So on this side it's just a case of cleaning all that up and refixing the lid. Got some new screws for that there. And this side here now, I've just got to reinstate this small bit of deck on this side, bit of ply with the teak treads on there. So everything cleaned up here now. Just got some primer on the back of this teak and on the top of the ply there for the mastic to bond that on there. So just giving that half hour or so to go off. Doing a few other little bits and bobs in the meantime. Going to go and get the hoover now, ready to clear up. And of course the weather's changing, so we've had a few spots of rain. So as soon as I get this on, the better really. Hey boy. Ta-da! So all done now, just a case of going back tomorrow at some point. Got another job on another boat, fortunately, down at the marina, just to trim off the excess mastic and go over the primer with some bilge paint. So all hoovered up, all clean and tidy, bilges checked out. It's always important to check out underneath where you've been working. You don't want to stuff up any bilge pumps or anything like that. So all the sole boards have been out, the hatches hoovered down in there, but everything is clear, so good. Right, just to pack up now and go and have a sandwich.